Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is George Herrera with the Queens Home Team at Keller Williams Realty. In today's video, I'm answering a question that I came across on a real estate forum, and it sounds like a potential home buyer or someone who's thinking of buying and had a question that I think might apply to other people or other potential home buyers. People who are thinking of buying in the future might be wondering this same thing. So I figured I'd cover it on the channel and hopefully you'll get some benefit or some use out of it. So here's the question as it reads. The title, the subject of the question is 3% down or 20% down. Okay, so if you've thought of buying in the past, then I'm sure you came across this or you've wondered this yourself. So 3% down or 20% down. Here's the situation. They say, my fiance and I want to buy a house with 20% down or buy a property, right? Our friends are also considering buying a property, but they're looking at putting 2 to 3% down. So the minimum is 3.5% for an FHA, but with a Sonny Mae loan, like here in New York, in Queens, you can get a Sonny Mae loan, and if you have to put at least 1% of your own money, but they do 3% down loans, and so you could do actually 2% also. So the friends are also considering buying, but they're looking to put down 2 to 3%. We've been renting and plan on renting for one more year so we can come up with the safety net around 20% down on a property. Our friends don't have 20% for a property, 20% to put down. They're thinking of buying, but they could rent for a year and eventually come up with the 20%, or they could just do the 3% down now. So here's the situation as they frame it. My fiance and I are wondering if we should be doing less down payment, like 5 to 10% instead of 20%. Our friends mostly are forced to do less percent, but they also say that mortgage is the same as rent, so you might as well buy anyway. So lastly, after hearing from other peers that they're doing 2 to 5%, we're wondering if what we've been, like the advice they've been following, if we've just been following the wrong outdated financial advice. So wondering pretty much, long story short, is should they put 3% down, or let's say 3.5% down versus the 20% down? And they have friends who are planning to do the lower down payment, maybe like 2 or 3%, or let's say 3 to 5%. And they're saving to get that safety net of the 20% down. So the best advice here, it really depends on your personal circumstance. But in my opinion, you should definitely, let's say everything else is in order. Your credit looks good. Your employment history is good. Your income is steady. Your income is good, right? So if everything else in your financial profile looks good and you're able to qualify for a loan with a lower down payment, I always advise go ahead and get pre-approved and find out what that monthly payment will look like. So when you put less than 20% down, you're typically doing a non-conventional. So it'd be like a FHA loan. Let's say you did 3.5% or 5% or 10%, and you might be subject to the PMI, the private mortgage insurance. So that's an extra fee that's added on to your loan, your monthly payment, because you did less than the 20% down. But it's not an outrageous fee or anything. What I would suggest is that if someone has saved up, let's say 3% or 5% of a potential down payment, and everything else is in order, so all the other criteria, my suggestion is always to speak with a lender and get pre-approved. It doesn't hurt to get pre-approved, and it is good to find out how much you can actually qualify for. Once you find out how much you qualify for, you can start estimating monthly payment amounts and see if you would actually be comfortable with it. So let's say for someone in this scenario, if you already have money saved up but you don't have the full 20%, it doesn't hurt to get pre-approved, find out how much you would qualify for, find out what the estimated monthly payments would be with the PMI added in there, and then you can get an idea of if it's something that you're comfortable with. So for example, like my wife and I, we like to get pre-approved at the beginning of every year after we do our taxes. The reason why is because if you're able to get pre-approved for a mortgage, then it doesn't hurt to just have an idea of how much you can qualify for and then be on the lookout for properties. Because when you come across a good property, they usually go quick. So if you find a good property at a good price, chances are someone else is seeing that, and the buyers that are prepared to move quickly are usually the ones that end up getting those. So it doesn't hurt, even if, let's say, you wanted to put 20% down just to have a smaller loan amount, to have a lower monthly payment. You could definitely do that. But in my opinion, it doesn't hurt to already get on the hunt if you are able to get pre-approved for a mortgage. So while you're continuing to save, you could be armed with a pre-approval for less than 20% down with the PMI. You can start to get an idea of what that monthly payment would look like, and you can get out there and start looking at properties. And you never know, if you come across a good property at a good price, you would most likely want to jump on it, even if it's with less than 20% down, right? So a good property at a good price with 5% down or 10% down could easily be a better investment than a higher price property, a property that is not purchased at such a great price with the full 20% down. So hopefully that makes sense, but it definitely depends on your circumstance. Like we say in the industry, you know, you don't live on the price, you live on the payment, you live on the monthly payment. So that's the most important thing, is make sure you're running your numbers to see what your total estimated monthly payment will be, which is your PITI, principal, interest, taxes, insurance. And if you did less than 20%, most likely you'll have PMI, which is the private mortgage insurance. So you would add that in there too. But if you're able to put less than 20% down and be comfortable with that monthly payment, then definitely I would suggest to get out there and look at some properties, because you never know what you can find. All right. Thanks as always for tuning in, y'all. Stay tuned for the next episode. Take care and have a great day.